lovers, welcome to the Fly Zone, where I'm going to be taking you through a journey of how I overcome turbulence, dropped off my baggage, and ultimately got the bag. Stay tuned, like, and subscribe now. What's up, you guys? I wanted to do a video. I told you I was going to do videos on the meaning of all the songs, so today's edition is Avoiding Heaven. Dun dun dun. Heaven, all because hell. I've been avoiding heaven, all because hell is familiar. This song came from a random aviator thought that just popped in my head when I realized one day that I had literally been avoiding heaven because hell is familiar, meaning that I didn't realize that I was creating my life with my thoughts, with my behaviors, with my habits. And the day that I realized that, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, it's been me all along. A lot of us have had traumatic childhoods. I know I did, in which I feel like a lot of us were kind of taught to be several people. Like, we talk about code switching. Like, you doggone near have to be schizophrenic in this world. Like, not from a medical perspective, but made to have, I think schizophrenia is the one where you have split personalities. But you got to have a personality at work. You got to have a different personality at school. And black parents especially have it bad. You can't have your real feelings. If you cry, you got to shut up, I'll give you something to cry about. You just gave me a reason to cry. You hit me, nigga. That's what I be thinking. But you couldn't say it. Definitely couldn't say it. But anyway, this whole, like, learning to be somebody separate from yourself causes you to be distant from yourself. Like, you don't even know who you are after a while because your society has their things, their ways they want you to be. Your mom, your dad has a way that they want you to be. And you never get to be who you were naturally supposed to be. Then, not to mention inflation. So then you got to just be in survival mode and trying to make money to live. You don't even have time to be your total self. But what I realized is that my thoughts on Earth is I'm convinced that this is like kindergarten or something for universe school. And they throw you on Earth in order for you to work out your God power, to exercise your God power. So when I talk to a lot of people have been through some like incredible situations, like traumatic. I know I have, and I've never talked about what I've been through, but when I tell you I'm a whole miracle, and the fact that I'm still here is a miracle. And I know a lot of you feel the same way, because like, I thought my story was bad. I've heard some of yours. I was like, dang, Jesus Christ. But with Avoiding Heaven, it talks about polarities. In Egypt, they had Set and I believe it was Horus or Osiris. I can't remember which one it is. I have to look it up. But basically, when you look up Egyptology, they dealt with opposites, meaning Set was the opposite of Osiris. And they didn't believe in Jesus and the devil or this fake figure with horns. They believed in opposites. So you can only know cold if you know hot. You can only know up if you know down. So it's opposites or polarities, rather. So if you are made in God's image, then Earth has to be the polarity of that. And the only way that you can experience your God self is to have to climb out of some impossible situations. Because I used to be like, why, Lord, why you put me why I'm going through this. Until I still started realizing that this was school. And you go from level to level to level to level. And the only way that you can start expressing the God creator inside of you is to have some resistance. Now, I know a lot of y'all work out, right? Y'all, I don't work out as much. That's why I say y'all work out. I walks. I'm doing the easy exercise right now. But some of y'all be benching 200, 300, 400 pounds. You benching. Would you get muscles if you didn't have any resistance? No. I used to bench the bar. Don't judge me. 20 pounds. That's what I could do. Alright? But I didn't get no muscles because I had no resistance. It was too easy. But some of you guys are literally learning resistance. Okay? And then eventually you become stronger and bigger than that resistance. And then it's like lifting a piece of paper to you. It's like no big deal. So avoiding heaven is a metaphor for our life. Now, I grew up in the church. I was a praise and worship leader for years and years. I was at church 6 days a week. That's another story for another time. But at any rate, I forgot my train of thought. What was I about to say? Oh my gosh, it'll come back to me. But basically, I spent a lot of time learning about heaven and hell. Oh, that's what I was going to say. And they teach you about, you're going to hell. There's all these songs about, don't go to hell, or one day I'm going to heaven. But when you actually read the Bible for yourself, you learn that Jesus, or Yeshua, who they call Jesus, Yeshua kept saying that the kingdom is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. What does that mean? It's right now. There's no such thing as the future. There's no such thing as all there is now. If you've read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, you'll know that the only thing that exists is now, because the next breath you breathe is now. So there really is. You can say there's a future, but once you get to that next moment, you're now in the now. All right. So the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So everything that, like Yeshua kept talking about, he kept talking about, think on these things that are lovely and powerful and of good report, and think on this. And he kept always talking about the thoughts. Asking you shall receive. Think on this. As a man thinketh, so is he. And when you realize, like, and I'm going to break this down another day, but even when Yeshua was going through the crucifixion, that crucifixion was taking place here from jump. He was that word crucifixion actually means place of mental anguish. So when you actually look up all the words, like Golgotha in the Hebrew means place of the skull, and then Calvary actually means skull hill. So they're referring to places in the mind. So a lot of y'all look at the Bible as just a history book. You miss some incredible truths. So Yeshua kept referring to what's happening in your mind. So if we liken it to your particular life, what mental anguish do you keep going through? And Yeshua was always talking about finding that peace that passes understanding. You're like, what? And I never understood what that meant. Paul always talked about being content no matter the circumstance. And I'm like, what is he talking about? Until this past year, when I realized if I kept stressing about this pandemic and everything that was going on, I wasn't going to make it. And so I had to I was talking to my one of my coaches, Coach Jessica. Shout out to Jessica for helping me find this place. But she helped me to find peace in the middle of a pandemic. Can I get that? Amen. Peace in a pandemic. Don't y'all pass and steal my title. I'm coming for you if you do. Peace in the pandemic. How do you find peace in the middle of chaos? I wasn't sleeping every day. I was stressed out, like wondering what was about to happen. I lost all of my events that was coming up. All my events were canceled. That meant no money coming in. So I'm like, how do you find peace in the middle of chaos? So avoiding heaven is all about realizing that it's all of this is taking place in you the whole time. How you perceive things, how you experience things, how you react to things. And so, and taking personal responsibility for the decisions that we make. So, I'll say a couple things that probably rub people the wrong way, but that's okay. That's my gift. I'm supposed to make you think. I said you can spend 12 years in school and never be close to be smart. Because when you think about it, they didn't even want black people to read 100 years ago. Then all of a sudden they want to be nice and offer you school? Come on. You think they're going to teach you what you really need to know? Come on. That don't make sense. So what I realized is that heaven has to take place here first. Now all these pastors been teaching is in the sweet, by and by. Hey, it's the sweet. One day, and then you living in hell here on earth, and you like, you a whole Christian, whole Muslim, whole Buddhist, whatever religion you want to be, but you want to commit suicide because you're stressed out. And I'm like, well, if those who have claimed to achieve this spiritual height still are stressed out and in this state of like disarray, then there's something, if we waiting for the heaven in the sweet by and by, something's got to be done here. And you got to create your heaven here first. Heaven is a state of mind. And love is where heaven resides. Y'all get into this note. Floating heaven, all because ooh, she went deep with it. Y'all gotta stop sleeping on the Aviator. I'm just saying. I'm talking like it's not me. Anyway. But all I'm here to say is that we make the choices in our lives that put us in this mental state of mental anguish, this crucifixion, if you will. Now, if you want to continue to only look at it as a historical event, be my guest. Don't send me no messages about my research that I've done in Hebrew on the word crucifixion and try to regurgitate what you done heard your pastor say for years, but you ain't never read it yourself. Don't send me no message. Just saying. Alright? If you look it up, you see a pattern. The Bible is like a book. It's a coded book, actually. It's not even what you were taught. And when you think about it, majority of the pastors had to go through. Oh, Lord, y'all be making me tell the truth too much. A lot of the pastors literally went to seminary school, which was taught by who? The Catholic priests, who were part of an order, who, let's just say they were part of the colonists. So some of y'all interpretations of the Bible have been skewed on purpose. I'm just leave that right there. So you better find out for yourself exactly what it's all about. But this song is all about your choices. What choices are you making that continually create the hell in your life that you keep experiencing and you keep creating it? This is you. Nobody made you pick that man. Nobody made you pick that cold drink. Nobody made you put that cigarette in your mouth. Nobody made you have a baby by a man that won't commit to you. You tried to do that to manipulate him into having a family. Nobody made you do that. You made that choice. Or maybe you saw a family member or a parent do this stuff and you just keep rehashing the same habits over and over. And I can only say this because I've done it before. Not even that extreme. Let's talk about how we learn as women to emasculate our men, or how we talk to them a certain way, because we don't even understand how they operate, or how survival mode is a habit. I realized that being cheap. In my family, my daddy was everybody hates Chris' dad. So even when I started making money, I was still like, ooh, $3, why is that so high? But you can't create more abundance if you take it away. There's this book I'm reading is that what's the lady's name? I think her name is Jean, but it's talking about how to make money. But she says a phrase in there. She says, "Wealth appreciates for those who appreciate." What? But anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. I'll probably come back and talk more about it later. But literally, we are the ones that have been creating the hell in our lives by our own choices here. And even with media, we've been trained for our brains to be all over the place. So we can never get to the point. You never actually figure out until you get quiet and start to notice things. That's where my aviator thoughts come from. I can see straight through the facade. I'm coming for y'all, just so you know.